Okay, so as it is now, you got two things going on. I'm gonna have to draw this one right now. You know what? I can just draw it onto this. So, as of now, we can say that this being the person, the collective computer of a person's mindset in response to concept, that a person has to be aware of all of these things in order to have an accurate response and ability to survive. Their response, their collection of all of these concepts makes a stable structure of character and ability to operate and justify oneself. And that this applies to everyone. Everyone has to know these things in order for the response to be accurate. Because if you don't know these things, your character, your ability to act, and your ability to operate becomes less stable. As such, whenever you guys are losing an argument against me, you like to abandon these perspectives and use these little slanted arguments that don't know anything and just started existing out of nowhere. And what this does is, instead of your structure being sound and logical, your structure becomes like this. So even if I fall for it, or you still get to act on this, it'll still be unstable, irrational, and you're only harming yourselves over time. But I know that some of you are so stupid that you're gonna have to learn that the hard fucking way. Okay, now here's the thing. You guys were only effective at using the strategy because we, and I mean I, had to protect the people who genuinely don't know these things. That's what it was. These things that you abandon. This whole argument is based on kids. It's we can't hurt this guy for not knowing these things because that would be like holding him accountable as if he does, and that prevents people from having the opportunity to learn and understand these things over time. And so the argument that the way this worked, the way that this was effective is that you were too naive to be held accountable. And even if I knew that you knew, and we all know that you know, even when you abandon these things, we all know that you know. Even if I knew that you knew, I had to guarantee that if I killed you, I was not killing everyone else's opportunity to learn and understand these things before they were held accountable for anything that they didn't know. I was keeping innocence alive. And that's what you do. You slant yourself to this position of just now understanding what's going on or being small enough to survive. Now, all that out of the way, here's another thing you do. Now, you guys have got this physiological paternal strategy. And that is, you guys decide that you're just parents now and that you're just protecting your children. But here's what you have to do. Like this, you have to abandon the fact that you have a religious bias that was contributing to everything that happened. You already wanted me to be shut up and killed. You already wanted to see bad things happen to me. You already were allowing me to do bad things just so you could have the excuse to attack me. So you abandon all these perspectives. Not only that, a lot of you were okay with cucking. A lot of you were okay with pretty much raping people and are okay with murder when you can get away with it. So combine all these little things that you're abandoning just to be parents, protecting your kids right now, avenging your children. I need you to know that these things I'm going to bring to light. I'm going to investigate them. And this isn't going to be looking into courtroom history. I'm not going to be looking into files. I'm going to be looking at what you are and the concepts that you act on, because you still have to maintain your connection to what you really are in order to survive this situation. And so as we go on, not only is it going to be obvious the things that you were participating in, how you were causing it, the things you were okay with happening, and the fact that you yourself commit the same crimes that when you're not even justified, I commit when justified. Now, obviously, I have to draw a line here and say the part that I'm discussing, now that part, I do agree that I was in the wrong, but I also understand that it still wasn't my fault because of everything that was happening, things that you were all participating in. And so what happens here is as time goes on and I explain this, it becomes very, very obvious that you people just use a convenient, paternal, physical strategy detached from logical occurrence that ignores everything and destabilizes and destructures all of society as you go on, which is why people cannot act on it. But you claim irration. And that's what it is. You already just want to attack me, so you're using an irrational argument, knowing way too much. You're knowing better, and I'm going to hold you accountable even if nobody wants to. And I will force them to hold you accountable because you know what you're doing. You know that that's one of those, you're just like, y'all can't say anything about this. Y'all can't say anything about this because if y'all do, then that means that y'all don't want to protect y'all children and y'all's children can die. You know what you're doing to people, and you know what this is. So I'm going to kill you. And that's where we are now. Another thing you guys are doing, and this is to finish the Christian strategy. So in order to survive, in order to be a stable, conscious, effective human being, existence, whatever, to contribute and to be able to grow, you've got to know these things. However, these things known create two different responses. Now, obviously, whatever I am knows a lot more than every single fucking one of you. And you can call me conceited, you can call me an asshole, but you can't fucking argue with me. And that's a fucking fact, all right? So as it goes, you all have created the strategy of sending irrational people, people who don't need to know these things in order to survive because they are connected to your assistance. See, it's very effective because, actually, let me draw it over here. If you send somebody who's doing this in order to create confusion and error, then that pretty much means that so long as they have you as a safety rope, a little umbilical cord, you can keep feeding them what they need to survive despite being irrational. You can keep getting them food, you can keep getting them security, you can keep them alive regardless of what they do. While they go off being irrational and destroying any system that's more effective than yours by constantly being confusing for no reason. And the issue was, like this, we didn't know if we could kill these people because we couldn't prove that they knew better. And we also couldn't figure out how to separate them from all the people who genuinely don't know so that those people didn't get harmed in the process. Now we know how to do that, and now I don't fucking care. So you can expect this strategy to be no longer effective very soon. And you can expect to deal with the consequences of the strategy, because you have to understand that because you were okay with doing this, because you were okay with sending people to be irrational and destructure other people's systems of operation, systems of being, systems that were more effective and better than yours because they weren't using strategies to attack yours. They were just right. It means that you're still detached from certain concepts that you are dealing with the consequences for, and all you got left is flesh. You got the number of people that are gonna be a fucking shield between you and fucking me. That's all you got. You got all of these fucking bodies that are just fucking bullet shields between the fucking shots that I'm taking and you. That's all this is now. You got no structure here. You don't make sense. You got none of this shit is effective anymore because you don't even fucking respect it. So all that's left is the amount of people that you have in front of you to fucking take your fucking blows for you. That's all you have left. And even they are gonna need to go somewhere more fucking effective. Even they are gonna have to admit what the fuck this is. So how much time do you have left?